Autistic Masking and its relationship to Dissociative Identity Disorder. Hello, my name is Naomi and I am autistic. I share my head and body with over 20 other selves or alters. Collectively, we call ourselves autistic selves. I am not an alter. I am considered to be the real personality. Although this does not mean my alters are not also real, it's just that they have all been created as alternative versions of me. They are all separate to me, and all of them agree that they are different to me. They say that I am the real self. To complicate things further, there are two Naomis inside our system, historical Naomi and current Naomi. The narrator for this video is current Naomi. I will tend to say I when speaking for myself, and we when speaking on behalf of all of us. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to be notified when we publish new videos. We also appreciate donations, which can be made via our designated fundraising page and enable us to continue making videos and to continue blogging on our other social media sites. This video will explore autistic masking and camouflaging and its relationship to Dissociative Identity Disorder, or DID. What is DID? DID is the presence of more than one self within a person, and we have made a video explaining the criteria needed for diagnosis and why we meet the criteria. What is autism? We define autism as a social and communication difference, usually involving differences in sensory processing. In this video, I will explore the process of masking and camouflaging and consider how this relates to my diagnosis of DID. Are my personas a more concrete and systematic way of masking? If this is so, does it mean I can never live authentically, never lose my mask, whilst I continue to have personas? Or is the process of developing DID unrelated to being autistic and not related in any way to the autistic processes of masking and camouflaging? What is autistic masking? For me, autistic masking refers to when an autistic person suppresses or hides part of their true authentic self in order to appear a particular way, specifically in a way that is perceived to be acceptable or expected in a given situation. My understanding of autistic masking is that this is an unconscious process. Although once aware, the autistic person can take steps to take off their mask or actively choose to be their true, authentic self. Masking is deep-rooted, usually begun in childhood in response to behaviour being criticised or disapproved of by others. Some autistic people are more aware of the reaction of the other. People who are very aware and sensitive to the disapproval of others may be more vulnerable to masking. What is autistic camouflaging? Camouflaging and masking are often used interchangeably, but for me, I see a difference between camouflaging and masking. When I am camouflaging, I attempt to fit in, to blend into my surroundings and to go unnoticed. In masking, I attempt to be something additional to what I truly am. For example, to act in a more sociable way, when in fact I am feeling very unsociable and not truly wishing to interact with others. Did I develop personas as a way of concretising the process of masking and camouflaging? In some ways, I believe the development of my personas was and is related to an autistic tendency to mask and camouflage in social situations in which I am uncomfortable. My mask then took on a life of its own, developing into an actual alter. Even in recent months and years, I retain the ability to create alters if I am required to do something I do not feel able to do. For example, Marianne appeared last year. She is an alter specifically able to cope with managing our finances. However, my alters are not just masking and camouflaging. They are different and more than this. They have their own thoughts, feelings, memories, abilities, names, and ages. I see a relationship between my pattern of living through alters and an autistic ability to mask to enable a person to appear to fit in and cope with a situation they in reality are not coping with. For me, my alters are also an elaborate system of hiding from the world. Having personas enables the system as a whole to function in situations not all of us can cope with. For example, I am able to stay inside and not interact in the world, whilst a more confident and functional alter, such as Fiona, can liaise with teachers at my child's school, something I do not feel able to do. Do my alters mask? Some of my alters do mask. For example, Laura is an alter that holds a lot of trauma and pain for the rest of us. She masks her bad feelings and pretends she is fine when she isn't. She gets confused about her real feelings because she hides them. Most of my alters do not mask and do not camouflage. They have no need to, since if one persona cannot cope with the situation, they will step back and allow another persona to come forward and deal with it. Each persona is authentic and true to themselves. Their sole function is to perform whatever their particular role is. For example, when I need to interact socially, Dina emerges. Dina is my social persona. She is very smiley, engaging, and able to sustain a conversation. Dina thinks faster than the rest of us and is able to process conversation at a faster speed and so doesn't get lost in fast-paced interactions. She is herself an elaborate mask for us, but she herself does not mask. There is not an aspect of her that she is covering up or masking during interactions. She is just herself. However, as with masking, we are exhausted after she has been out, and we can only manage high levels of social interaction involving Dina for an hour or so, and require recovery time afterwards. Dina herself will also be exhausted. Do I mask, or do I just switch into an alter? I believe that I do mask, in addition to sometimes switching into an alter that can better cope with the situation. When I am masking, I tend to make more effort, sustain more eye contact, maintain conversation without pauses. I am myself, but a more engaging version of myself. It is exhausting. When I am needing to engage with school or in a more formal setting, then I use Fiona. Do I mask when at home with my husband and children? Although I do mask at times when I am at home, most of the time I am not masking. I am able to freely switch between my alters or have a collection of alters out at any one time. I may choose to utilise a more appropriate alter. For example, Angelina will get a better result when talking to my husband than utilising Angela, as Angelina is sweet and loving and Angela holds our anger. I manage how and when my personas come out, which is not the same as masking. Sometimes I will ask particular alters to stay inside and give them a chance to express themselves later on. For example, it is not always helpful for my youngest personas to come out, especially if the situation is calling for a more adult part. If I value being authentic, then does that mean I need to get rid of my alters? What is authenticity? Being authentic means being your true self, without pretending to be neurotypical by masking. Many autistic people value the concept of being accepted for who they actually are, and so work to interact with others without using a mask. This is thought to be important for good mental health. How does living authentically without masking relate to living a life with many alters? If my alters are actually a variation of masking, does this mean that I cannot live authentically if I continue to have alters? Can I still achieve good mental health if I am not living authentically? On one level, it would seem to me that having alters is a form of extreme masking, and that to be my one true self, I would need to integrate or merge all my alters into the one original personality, me. However, it is not possible for me to integrate my alters. I tried this and believed I had achieved full integration. This lasted for 12 years before they all re-emerged, albeit with different names and a few extra alters. I do not know if I truly integrated all my alters or whether they merely hid away out of view until they were needed again. Either way, I know that, even if having alters isn't authentic, I am not able to integrate them and need each and every one. It would also be impossible to determine which alter was the one authentic original self. Is there truly only one authentic persona, or are there aspects of authenticity contained within every persona? For me, being my true authentic self means to embrace and acknowledge each and every one of my personas. I need to get to know and value everyone inside me and harness each persona's strengths so as to live the fullest life possible. I believe I am being authentic by embracing my alters and allowing myself to communicate with them. Thank you for watching this Autistic Sales video on autistic masking and camouflaging and its relationship to developing alters. If you have found it helpful, please share it with others that would also benefit from seeing it. Please also remember to subscribe to our channel, follow us on our other social media sites, and, if you can afford to do so, consider making a donation via our fundraising page. Thank you for your support. From Naomi and everyone at Autistic Selves.